Okay, so let's first start off with the specs of the Kukurin G4 electric scooter. The platform you stand on is 20 inches in length and about 9 inches in width. And under that platform you stand on, it's packing a 60 volt, 20 amp hour battery, and it also has an IPX4 water resistance rating. The max load is 265 pounds, and I like the simplicity and the location of the charging port. It's also equipped with a front headlight, front and rear disc brakes, and the rear is also including regenerative braking. Speaking of the rear, that is where the 2000 watt motor is placed in the back rear tire. The tires that are equipped on this electric scooter are 11-inch tubeless tires, and they're 90 millimeter wide. The G4 is also equipped with front and rear suspension. It also has turn signals and a horn, and also a key ignition switch. On the right side of the handlebars, you also have a power button and your throttle. The grips are good, they're rubber, they're nothing to complain about, but they're nothing super high end. Now the stem is very different from most scooters. A lot of scooters are kind of this chunky, heavy stem. This is actually hollow. In my opinion, I think this is good. Now, when you see the standard scooter stems, they're somewhat like this. The problem with this is that there's so much weight that's being used in this particular section. Sometimes they wind up compromised and cracked. All that heavy pressure from the rider's weight and the riding itself, and without any additional support, is not good. With the Kukurin G4, not only is the entire stem hollowed out for weight reduction, but towards the neck area, you have over a dozen bolts supporting this area that constantly has so much pressure built up while riding. What's also cool about the hollowed out stem is that you can utilize it for an additional anti-theft device so no one steals your scooter. To fold the scooter up, just clench in this spring-loaded device, then pull on this metal tab, and then the stem will be loose to fold. Lay it down all the way, and you're gonna utilize that black keychain and wrap it around the rear metal fender, but make sure it's placed behind the actual taillight. Then after that's secured, you have the leverage to actually lift up the scooter into the car or wherever you're taking it. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the digital display that is touchscreen on the G4. Now I'm going to do it in my basement when it's fairly dim, because when you're outside and it's very bright out, it is tough to see this. If the sun's going down or if it's really cloudy, you could definitely see it. But again, if it's really sunny out, it's just tough to see. So you have your battery meter here. On the top, you have your light indicator, which you can turn on and off by just clicking the power button there. Turn it on and off. As you can see, the headlight is pretty dang bright. Okay, and then you have your mode right here. So there's race mode. So you got eco, sport, and race mode. This indication right here is a certain feature that you can make the scooter go just by hitting the throttle instead of kick pushing it. Because a lot of times with scooters, you get on it, and you just start kick pushing it, and then it knows that you want to go, rather than whiskey throttle it and doing one of these and crashing the scooter. So if I hold down the set button, it'll turn it on. If I hold it down again, it'll turn that feature off. So now that it's off, and if I hit the throttle, it won't do anything. Then we could also turn the light off by holding this down as well, holding it back down and turning it back on. As you can tell, you have your miles per hour and your trip. Now, if you double tap the set button, you can change it to kilometers per hour. Now, if you hold down the mode button, you can actually access your cruise control, which is up there. Pretty cool, right? So here's your blinker indicator. If I shove it to the left, I have my left blinker. To turn it off, you just place it back in the middle, and the same thing with the right side. The rear also indicates as well with the brake light / tail light. The horn is pretty abnormal. Kind of weird in my opinion. Now, what I really like is this throttle. What's cool about the throttle is most scooters usually have a thumb throttle. This also has the OG motorcycle throttle as well. So if you don't want to use the thumb throttle, you have your original motorcycle style throttle. Okay guys, here we go. Giant hill test on the G4 scooter. Same hill we always use with our e-boards. The super high performance boards do like 27 to like 34-ish miles per hour up the hill. So I'm very curious to see what this will do up this giant hill. Took 3 miles to get here, so I'm not exactly on a full battery, but I'm pretty damn close. Race mode, let's do it. definitely had no issues getting up there, but it didn't rip up the hill. Let's check the rider out. 25.5 miles per hour up the hill with the G4. Okay, so this is not a torquey scooter, but I'm just gonna show you the acceleration from a dead stop anyway. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, not bad. Yeah, those are really strong brakes. We're gonna do a brake test at 19 miles per hour. 1, 2, 3, brake. Woof. Wow, very good brakes. Let's do it again at 15 miles per hour. 1, 2, 3, brake. Oh, wow, very good brakes. I'd even squeeze on the brakes as hard as I can because I feel like I might flip over because the brakes are so strong. So definitely good brakes. Okay guys, here we go. Top speed test on the G4. Almost a full battery. And I got the rider app up just in case you can't see the display because it's really sunny out. Let's see how she does. Now I actually started going uphill a little bit towards the end. Let's check the rider app. 38.3 miles per hour. I really ran out of runway a little bit and it started going uphill towards the end. So I think you can get 40 on this possibly if you have enough runway because it does take a little while to get up there. As for range, I'm a 155-pound rider and the temperature was about 65 degrees during my days of range testing. I did 41.8 miles of range on the G4 scooter. As for the suspension is a little bit more on the spongy side. It could definitely go off stairs, off curbs, and definitely take bad roads, but it is a little clanky sounding. The 11-inch tires are fairly firm, but they still kill it off-roading, grip, and decent comfort. Check it out. Now, a few things worth mentioning. Keep in mind, this is not a small scooter. If you're looking for a portable scooter, this really isn't it. At 81 pounds, it's even hard to get over the damn curb. But at the end of the day, long range and top speed scooters aren't meant for portability. As I mentioned before, the suspension is a little bit on the clanky side, meaning it's not super premium or high-end suspension, but this is really where they cut costs. It still does the job. You're still going to be able to go downstairs and have plenty of comfort. Again, it's just not the highest end suspension that you can get on an electric scooter. Next thing worth mentioning is their 2-amp charger. This is a tiny charger for this size scooter, and it takes up to 12 hours to charge. That's kind of crazy. Next thing worth mentioning is the digital display. When it's really sunny out, it is tough to read it, but when it's really cloudy or when the sun's going down, it's definitely a lot easier to read the display. Final thoughts. If you're a person that's looking for an electric scooter to maximize your value and all you really care about is top speed and range, this is definitely it. For under $900, this thing going almost 40 miles per hour and about 40 miles of range is a no-brainer if you don't need some kind of high-end premium quality. I also think when it comes to scooter riding, it is very, very easy. So if you're a person that sees the e-boarding and the EUC riders and you want to join the PV community, you love seeing all the group rides, but you don't want to put the time in to practice riding e-boarding or EUC because there definitely is a learning curve to riding those both PVs. With riding a scooter, it's as simple as it gets. Again, it has all the range, all the top speed, has decent suspension, it has that digital display, it's got blinkers, headlights, taillights, and of course you can fold it in your car for trips. So the value is definitely all there. Thank you for watching, guys. Please comment, like, share, subscribe. Have a good one, guys.